A warm welcome to everyone. Today is a topic that all of us were, all the married people, especially, I think, at different phases of our marriage, we have felt unheard. And I think it's one of the issues that, especially, I won't say especially male or especially female. I think all of us at some point of our relationship, even if it's not a marriage, even if it's a serious relationship, you feel unheard. So I think Divya has chosen a very, a topic which is very hot, kind of a, a hot cake. So, a warm welcome, everyone. Good evening. And yeah, Radio Diva is a little initiative that we started during lockdown, and now it has. We are going to complete 3 years very soon. My name is Divya Shah, and today our speaker is also Divya, and I'm Divya. So it's an interesting, coincidence. And this initiative started just as a went out platform during the first lockdown, but now, of course, it has evolved into a platform which is connecting counselors to people. We are trying to take up topics which are relevant, which are important, and which needs to be spoken about. And yes, please join us and please be part of this happy go lucky community. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram by the same name, Radio Diva, and do subscribe to the YouTube channel by the same name, The Radio Diva. And now coming to our interesting, speaker of the day who has chosen such an interesting topic. So Divya Srivastava is a resilience coach. And that's quite interesting. I need to know more about this. She serves individuals who are facing a lot of stress and and due to lack of connection and lack of real conversation. I think that's very important that hardly we have real conversation these days. We are having everything which is very superficial. We hardly delve deep inside us. We hardly delve deep inside anyone else. So real conversation, and because she helps them provide that safe space so that people can be themselves, and I think that's a beautiful thing to do. So, and she has done a lot of courses, including the neuro linguistic programming NLP. She is a master coach, and she has, done lots of other coaching diplomas and courses. And yes, I'm super excited to listen to the other Divya today. So all yours, Divya. And I don't want to keep people waiting after, such an important topic. Everyone is waiting to hear you. So please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Divya, for inviting me, and I'm so excited to, talk about this topic. It's so hot that I got so many messages yesterday. A lot of them making fun of the topic because it's often laughed about, and it's like all the females will gather and just talk about not how none of their husbands are listening to them.
But even men, trust me, even men will gather and say, even our wives don't listen to us.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I'm telling about how people perceive this topic. And of course, both are feeling this way. And it's not just in between spouse, it's actually in any relationship. Any close relationship comes across this state at one time of their, relationship or the other. So let me just start. So my talk will be divided in three parts. First, I will share about my story and why am I the right person to, really talk about this. And second part will be all the reasons this happens and why the woman or even the male may feel unheard. And the third part of this talk will be about all the tools and all the techniques that you can use and you can apply every day and create that bond where you are seen and where you are heard and where you are absolutely respected to that level. So I'm just gonna dive into it. So my story, my parents have joined today. Hi, mom and dad.
Welcome to Radio Diva, to uncle and auntie. I mean, amazing. So nice to have them with us. Namaste and welcome to family.
Yeah, so my father is a geophysicist, he's a scientist, and my mom is a housemaker. I have siblings. I recently got married. So since we are talking about wives and spouses, let me just tell you about how my relationship has evolved from where it was. I was in a long distance relationship before I got married, and during that time, a lot of relationships initially, the love is overtaking, and you forget and you lose your identity. But in my case, since I was in a long distance relationship, there was ample amount of time to keep my identity as well as be in a relationship. So I had both the things together going on. So for example, whenever I had a fight, um, initially, so I'm telling you about initially, I would say, for example, I had this amazing coffee at this place, at this at this restaurant, and immediately samne wala is, the other person, it's the automatic reply is they would go back to a time when they had an amazing coffee, and they'll share that. And then the wife or the partner or the spouse will feel unheard कि यार मैं तो अपने experience share कर रही थी, and suddenly my experience is being overtaken by the by my partner's experience. So what happened to me? Now, it is not very simple to explain in very not very simple to explain to a partner when he's actually listening to you in so much in so many words. So you listen. So my partner said, I heard you. You said you loved your coffee today. So, but the other person, but I am like, you heard the word that I said, but you overtook the conversation. I wanted to share more with you. Now my partner was all confused. कि यार मैंने तो सुना, but I don't understand. What are you asking? What is your expectation? Now this is the point where most of the female or most of the spouses will say, you should have figured it out by yourself. Why should I tell you? We have been in this relationship for so long. You should have figured it out by now. But you know what? This curiosity point, this is so important to have, because this person is now ready to listen to you about your expectation, about how you want to be communicated with. So after a couple of times, the third time this happened, I said, you know what? When I'm sharing something, I want you to come out of your zone and come to where I am right now, and really ask questions and listen to what I have to say. And then when I am done, then you can share your you can share your story, or whatever you wanted to share about your own experience related to this. Now this is where real listening happens. And there's another conflict that happens is, if I share my expectation now, that person is going to go ahead and tell me exactly what I said. It will not be genuine. But you know what? If your spouse is actually open to communicating with you, the next time it happens, it will be genuine. Unless we share what is our requirement at this moment, all the future is blocked. And then I'm going down the spiral, and the belief is solidifying that I am not heard in this relationship. So this is how we started communicating. And since in any relationship, when you are with the person, in front of that person, what happens is, you get into a fight, you say, sorry baby, I'm really sorry, let's go have coffee, let's go have some food, and it will be all okay. You will say okay, theek hai, I forgive you. And nothing of, no building, no communication actually happened. But since I was lucky or unlucky, whatever we can call it, we had to communicate. We did not have an option. So we communicated our way to growth. We communicated our way to really understanding what is the requirement of the person in front. And it's not just him doing all the work, it's me also. So I have created that respect. I have created that self-identity to be heard. Okay, so this was about my story. I'm gonna share a little bit of, what are some of the reasons when people are not feeling heard. Number one reason for not being heard by, a lot of spouses is when they're being blamed. So the way we communicate a lot of times is, how dare you talk to me like this? Or, you didn't even let me finish. So, in the blame mode, what happens is the person is only trying to defend themselves, and it's not really communicating. If in place of blaming, if in place of saying that, you hurt me, instead of saying this sentence, saying that, I feel triggered because you said so much word, because you said this, I am feeling triggered, I want you to help me out in this. So when you are saying that I am facing something, I need your help in figuring this out, it changes the whole game. It makes you a team. It makes you a bundle. It makes you a family. When you are just trying to figure out your own self and blaming the other person, it does not work like that. And it is built upon every day. The more initially you do this in a relationship, the more the more solid it becomes over the years. So this is number one reason for not being able to be heard. The second number one reason is not knowing what is needed at the time. How many of you have read the book Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus? Okay, I don't know. So, anyways, if you had read it, you would know that most of the women are looking to be heard, are looking to be just listened to, not solution. Women are not even looking for solution. Most of the women, at least, I know. And men, whenever they share, they're looking for solution. But this is not like general thing, so you have to ask. This is one of the reason that conflict happens. The woman or the men, this one of the spouses wanted to be heard in the relationship, but the other person started sharing solution. Thank you, Jaya. So this is another reason. The third number one reason is because of which the spouse feels unheard is, you know, the spouse does not know how to communicate at all. At this point, you need to do what I did, but which I shared a few minutes ago. You have to actually literally share in so many words what did you want to hear. And do that, for your partner as well. Ask them, what do you need to hear right now? What do I need to say right now to make you feel better? What do you need right now? Saying this in so many words changes and shifts and makes you into a team, like I always say. Another number of one reason, another biggest reason that happens is your self-talk with yourself. Now, what happens is, as we are growing up, when we get into a relationship, we often lose ourselves in love, in the name of love, in the name of relationship. We often forget that we also have a voice. So we let the other person, we let the spouse, we push them ahead. We push them ahead and we say that, it's okay, I love you, and it's okay for you to take this decision. It's okay for you to take a lead on this. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But once and in a while, you should speak up and you should, talk about how you want things to be. Slowly and steadily, when you let the other person lead in all ways, in all matters, what happens is you will start feeling inferiority complex, saying that I am not the right person to take the decision and he is or she is. I am not enough. We start having this self-talk within ourselves, which makes us believe that we are not worthy enough to be heard, we are not worthy enough to be listened to be taking a decision in this family. Slowly and steadily, your whole energy, your body, your energy shifts, and it speaks in a way that nobody else will actually hear you. Now, because you believe it so much, everybody is going to reflect the same thing to yourself, to you. This does not just happen with female, this happens with male, this happens with children, this happens with everybody in the family. So for example, if a female, if the woman of the family, this happens so often, I've seen like so many examples are there. The woman of the family will start, will start putting all the effort for the family, all the effort for the husband, for the children. She loses herself. She doesn't even know what is her favorite food. She doesn't even know what she likes anymore. And the family cares to they will go to the lens for this woman. They will love, but love does not equal being heard. So we have to know ourselves. We have to make that space for ourselves inside us as well. Okay. And a lot of times the spouse will not listen to you, will not even respect you just because you do not respect yourself. And this is built over time. It does not just happen like this. It is built over time. And it's nobody's fault. It's how most of us have been brought up without even knowing about it. So I have shared now all the reasons. Now I'm going to share with you all the tools and techniques which you can apply in your life every day. In fact, you can ingrain it not just for your spouse. You can ingrain this within yourself for all the things, for all the talks. Whatever connection you have, whatever networking you do, if you follow these tools, if you uh, use these tools to communicate every day in your life, it will change all your relationship. It will change the whole dynamic of your life. Thank you, Jyoti. So the number one tool that I have for you is context. Whenever we are having a conversation, whenever you're having a conversation with your husband or wife or children or wherever, always know the context, always know the reason why you are communicating, and what do you want at the end of the talk. If this is an argument, if you're trying to have an argument at that point, and not argument, but you're trying to prove your point, or you're trying to express your feelings of not being heard, for example, the context could be, I want to be heard. And knowing this will shift the energy, will make sure that you're communicating in a way that you're heard. And for example, if you're just trying to show that person that how much that person cares for you and listen to you, then you have to know the context of that as well, just before the conversation starts, so that the person knows exactly what you're looking for, and you know exactly what you're looking for and what is being expected. Doing this early in the relationship is so much better than doing it later, because it solidifies, like I'm repeating it all the time. The second very powerful technique is shadow journaling. Shadow journaling is one of the tools that is used in shadow work. There's no voodoo. It is not about spirituality, not at all. This is about integrating those parts which are hurt, integrating yourself, integrating the parts which are hurt within you, so that you can give voice. Unless you speak up, you will not be heard, and the first person to listen to you is you. So how do we do this? How do we do shadow journaling? You pick up a particular scenario which is bothering you. You shut the door, make sure nobody sees this, make sure nobody has access to this note or diary, and start writing about whatever thing is coming to your mind. Now, a lot of times our thought makes us fearful, and we do not admit that we are having this thought. It can be breaking the glass, it can be just leaving the house, it can be just leaving everything and going, it can be beating somebody, it can be anything, the worst. But if we do this, if any of you do this technique, the moment that you end writing, the moment that you finish writing 4 or 5 pages, what happens is it will shift something inside you. Now you know exactly what you're capable of. Now you know the kind of energy that is existing within you. Integrating that creates a powerful shift within you. And that shift gives you power, gives you respect, gives you voice. Now, whether your spouse is respectful of you, whether he's putting an effort or not, when you start doing this, when you are integrating this work, you will see a shift around you, because your energy changes, everything around you will change. Another powerful technique is building your identity. Like I said, a lot of women, even men, lose their identity living in a relationship. I have, for example, I'll give you an example of one of my cousin, and he and his wife, they have very, they're very amazing family. I love them. I absolutely love them, and they have their individual identity as well. Whenever we are inviting them over for lunch or dinner or anything, we make sure to ask, so भैया आप फ्री हो, भाभी का कब फ्री होगा तो आप लोग मिलके आ जाना, और आपको क्या पसंद है, भैया को क्या पसंद है, everything we are making sure to include both of them. Does this happen with everybody? I don't think so. We usually ask कि अच्छा आप क्या खाओगे. Whoever you feel is the leader of the family, you would call that person, and you will say, we are having this party, are you free or not, come over. And so building that identity is not my job, building is the identity is your job. So my cousin, they have built that identity for themselves. They have created that individualism along with our team, and that's how the strongest bonds and strongest families are built. Now, how did they do that? The real question arises here. Having a voice. Make sure you are speaking up. Make sure that you are talking whenever some big decisions is being taken. And never leave a decision just for your partner to take. Always be included in that. It does not matter your ego is fulfilled or not. That is not the real question here. The real question is, are you being listened to or not? Because that female who doesn't even know what is her favorite food, nobody is going to listen to her for the major decisions of her life. So we have to make sure to have our identity. And this is like women empowerment also, and this is everybody's empowerment, to have that individualism and not be lost in the relationship, and not be lost and never be lost in any relationship, especially in love. I think I've spoken a lot, and that's the end of my content, and whatever I had to share, I wanted to share. It's open to Divya, you, and whoever want to ask a question about their particular scenario or whatever they want to ask or share.
Oh my God, the way you were so bang on. I'm like so happy to share my name with you.
Thank
It
you.
was simply bang on. I think people, in relationship, especially in initial phases, people give so much into the relationship. And they lose their own identities, and then they start feeling hollow from inside, and then they blame it on the other person.
Yes.
But the fact is that why did I mean, love is love. I somehow feel eventually it's how you make it work. Love evaporates or love stays, it becomes more of sibling love. But in any relationship, having your own identity is very important. Whether you are a mother, people have children and they just are a mother. Like, I have seen so many women who are just reduced to be a mother. They are beautiful mothers, but other than thinking of their children, they are not doing anything else.
Yeah.
In every relationship, I think it's so important to have. I noted down all your points, Divya. They were superb, bang on. अभी सबको बहुत फायदा हो रहा होगा ये सुन के, because relationship is one thing that most of the people struggle with, and not just the spouse relationship with their kids, relationship with their in-laws, a relationship with everyone, with their business partner, with their love partners, every kind of relationship. I think people suffer because
Absolutely.
there is lack of communication, there is lack of respect, there is taken for granted wala feeling, which is wrong. And
Yeah. And
yeah,
you can't even recognize it initially. You don't really see it because there's so much love. And you lose yourself eventually, saying, कि मैं तो प्यार करता था, मैंने तो care किया है. But eventually what happens? You lose yourself.
Yeah, and I somehow, I mean, I don't want to get into. I mean, I'm feeling very happy and satisfied with every tip that you shared was bang on. I'm sure your parents must be feeling so proud of you right now. So, anyone who has a question, please go ahead. I think Radio Diva, we have managed a space which is
Uh,
non-judgmental. Yes, Pramesh ji, you want to say something?
Hello.
Please go ahead. Yeah, Pramesh ji.
Divya, nice to see you. I have one actually question. What is the exact meaning of building identity in
Awesome.
the context? Uh,
Aw-
okay.
Good question. Thank you, Pramesh, for asking this. So, building an identity is. Um, Let me ask you this question. If I ask you, do you know who you are? Can you talk about yourself for 5 minutes, only about yourself without including your family? If you can answer this question without including your family into this, then you have an identity. You have built a self identity. If I ask, let's say a person who is not being heard, or a person who is deprived of a lot of things in a relationship, if I ask that person, what is your identity, that guy or the girl will say, I have an amazing husband, I have a caring relationship, my parents are here, I live here, and it's amazing, the life is amazing. Probably, even though it is not, I don't know, but their identity, if you can speak at least 3 to 4 sentences about yourself, that is building an identity. And how do you do this? You start investing in yourself in terms of time, in terms of working on your hobby or anything. It doesn't, you don't have to have a job in order to have an identity. You can be a housewife, you can be a freelance, you can be anybody, you can be a child. But knowing who you are at this moment is building self identity. If you don't know who you are, then start investing in yourself, start trying out new things, start doing different things, just try out things. Even then, you have an identity saying that I am an explorer, I am exploring, I'm building my identity. You can say this. So I hope I answered your question, Pramesh.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think lovely thing you shared, Divya, because many people. Okay, I'll just mute everyone. Okay, so many people, in the process of making relationship work, initial stages of marriage or any love relation, they try to impress and they actually lose themselves, and then they look for themselves and they forget who they were actually, what they loved, what made them happy, just to fit in, just to be accepted. People try to have that facade around them that we are somebody else, and then they miss themselves, because ultimately the real self isn't happy if it's not getting its due attention. So beautiful. I think at the tip that you gave, ki if you can talk about yourself not including any of the roles, especially in case of women, even men's case. I remember doing a session with teachers in Guwahati abhi, and there was this guy teacher who said ki whenever I buy something, first I buy for my kids, then for my parents, then for my spouse. मेरा नंबर ही नहीं आता है, मैं अपने लिए कभी कुछ कर ही नहीं पाता हूँ. And I felt so basic कि a man has to keep everyone else before themselves.
Absolutely.
I really believe in the funda of being selfish. You take care of yourself, you take care of others much better.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
So beautiful. Anyone else who has a question, please go ahead. I think it's a beautiful session for everyone. I'm so happy that we are doing this, Divya. And now I know why Anika really wanted me to talk to you.
Thank you.
Anyone who wants to just compliment Divya, please go ahead. You can compliment both the Divyas today. No, I didn't do much.
Yeah. Great work, Divya. Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dev. Yes. So I think, it was, Neha is there. I can see many people who haven't been for around for quite some time. Yes, Neha, anyone else who has a question, because relationships are very complicated. I often quote this Harvard study which says ki people with meaningful relationships are the happiest people. It is a survey which was done for 95 years. Though our culture might be different, countries might be different, but basic human being and their requirement to be heard, to be accepted, to be understood is same and prevalent everywhere. It can't change. So I think meaningful relationships make us happy, and we can do everything to make it work. Yes, Neha, anyone who has a question, please go ahead, or I think we can call it a day. Divya, you have any thought? Yeah, it's really nice to listen to this session. Yes, Neha, I'm totally enjoying the session. Please, Divya, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that, I mean, even though this session, we had to give the name of the session, which has to be specific, because, then people do not know whether they resonate with it or not. But it's so important that everybody ingrain this within their lives, and not just male or female. It has to be for everybody. And the basic, the Maslow hierarchy that you just shared, the basic needs, it's so important, but and it also starts with yourself. Nobody will make you as happy as you would do for yourself, and nobody should be allowed to make you as happy or as sad as you can make yourself. So I guess I'm done over here. That's my call. Yeah, over to you.
I totally agree to that. Divya, it's a beautiful thing that you said, we give our lives remote control, our happiness ka remote control in others' hand, and then we feel helpless. And it's very sad that people feel helpless in relationships and with people whom they love. I think the first person you need to fall in love with is with yourself. And, your relation, I always say this, and I really believe in this, that your relationship with yourself determines your relation with anyone else. So I think first relationship that you need to fix is with yourself, and it spills and it reflects in all other relationship of yours.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well said.
So I think we all are like, na, जैसे एक हिंदी में एक word है ना, trips हो गए हैं listening to you, Divya. It was beautiful. I think I just felt that I can keep listening to you. It was beautiful, no doubt about it. And this session will be on YouTube. So please, Jaya ji was kind enough to share the links. Please subscribe to it, and please forward this video to maximum people. People are maximum distressed because of their love lives and their spouses and their marriages. I think this is a pain area with so many people. Please share this honest content with maximum number of people and be part of our community. She has shared the YouTube and the Facebook and the WhatsApp link. And thank you so much, Divya. And I just hope, this is informal. Your parents, will they like to say some word? They must be feeling very proud of you right now. So you want to call them? Please go ahead.
I am not sure if they're here anymore.
I think Amita is your mom, right?
No. My mom is Rita Prakash, and Dr. Anand Prakash.
Okay.
Are you here? Papa?
So this is informal. This is a family time. I think yes, Rita ma'am, will you like to say something? You must be feeling very proud of your daughter's wisdom right now.
Yes, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yes, really, she has spoken very well. I think she has touched a very important card of the life of a human being, and I hope that she will grow in the field of giving relief of the people who is in pain or who is in grief. I hope she will be continuing to help the people in building their relationships and other things.
Maybe proud.
Okay, we are so proud of it, and you continue.
That is the first time I'm hearing that. I'm so glad. Thank you, Papa.
Sir, say it again. Dr. Prakash, say it again.
एक बार और कहो सर. दिव्या सिंह मैंने पहली बार सुना है, दूसरी बार सुना दो.
Yes, really, I am really very happy. She is helping people to build relationships and relieving from the grief and pain and everything. I am really very happy that she has taken this profession, and whosoever is getting benefit out of it, he or she will be remembering her always. And that is a very nice profession she has taken up. And when we feel very happy about her. And
मम्मी
all
हिंदी में
the very
बोल
best.
सकते हैं.
All the very best. All the very best to her.
Thank you, Papa.
Thank you. Thank you.
Means a lot. Thank you, Mama.
So, so nice of you what your dad told about it. पता है मैं हमेशा एक चीज में बिलीव करती हूँ ना, you give someone a job that can like वो जॉब जा सकती है, आप किसी को खाने को दे दो वो खत्म हो जाएगा, आप कुछ भी दे दो वो it has a it has a time period. You give money, anything you give, but you uplift a person mentally, it goes a long way in changing the life of a person, and not just that person, of people around that person, of many other families that that person is going to touch invariably. So mental upliftment of someone is something that I really believe in, and I'm sure you will go long way. Divya, you have all our good wishes. Thank you so much for being part of it, Radio Diva, and it's such an honor to have you with us.
Thank you so much.